Battle.net, so...
I guess go ahead.
Again, not sure if you can answer this, but we've heard finally confirmation that there won't be any payments involved in actually playing on Battle.net when you buy the box.
Right.
Have you any plan like microtransactions? Like you pay $1 to start a tournament, or?
I don't know what they'll end up doing. Like, obviously those things have been discussed, but nothing has been decided one way or the other.
Yes, you already said that Battle.net will have ads and maybe
we're not 100% sure on that. Like, I don't know whether that will happen or not. Obviously, we spend a lot of money on Battle.net,
yes.
right? And we need to have some way to sustain it. Ads is an option for us. I'm not sure whether they're going to do that or not. The latest mock-ups I've seen don't include ads, but that doesn't mean they won't come back later, or they just left them out for one pass. But it'll be no different than you saw in the original, right? Or in Warcraft 3, where there was a little bit of ad at the top.
Well, the ads, they're not intrusive, so...
That's what I hope. And I will be definitely fighting for that.
But where they will appear?
Don't know. Like I said, the latest mock-ups don't have them at all.
Okay.
So I don't know if, are we going to do them more later? Are we moving away from that? Like, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see what happens. We'll definitely be looking for ways to allow us to sustain the service and keep it as high quality as possible, and ads is an option for us.
Okay, good.
But we'll see. If we don't need them, we certainly won't use them.
Okay.
Do you plan to add a feature like a bank of replays on Battle.net, and players will be able to replays directly on Battle.net?
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Like, we're definitely looking for ways for players to share replays as much as possible. What makes for ship and what we do for expansion packs, I don't know, but that's a great idea, and we'd love to support it. We'd absolutely love to support it. Okay. But I don't know when it's going to happen exactly, or what form it'll take. Like, maybe early on, maybe you can send replays to friends, and maybe later then you can... there's a bank, or I don't know, or maybe there's a bank right away, or maybe none of that makes ship, right? Like, I don't know what will actually make ship, but it's an awesome idea, and it's definitely something we're looking to support down the road. It's really cool.
Right, we've had, for the Diablo team anyway, they've actually confirmed that there will be no LAN play with the game. You can't actually play local area networks. Is there, do you have an answer for that question yet on the second?
We're still looking to decide what makes sense for us.
Because it's big on the, obviously, like DreamHack and all this.
It's different for us, right, than it is for Diablo. Right?
So there's a reason why you haven't gone out directly to say that.
Yeah, because it's a different problem for us. Like, we have different player base. People play the game differently, so it's sort of part of the whole, Battle.net experience. What do we want to do?
Cool.
Yes. A big problem in StarCraft is the cheating and the cheaters. What do we plan to implement an anti-hack? Because many players go on IC Cup, but there are useful tools like Chaos Launcher too. So where do you find the path?
Well, we've had to actually ask our engineers, so I'm afraid I might not be the right guy to answer this question for you. So maybe we could ask the engineers, maybe we could send these guys a better answer to that. But I know we're looking at a lot of these tools, and we have a lot of techniques we've learned since World of Warcraft has shipped. That we actually have a business intelligence department right now whose job it is to find and kill these things. And so they do a bunch of stuff on WoW. And I actually get a weekly report for WoW, which I don't know why I get that, but I do. For the price of gold, how many guys are banned, how many accounts are permanently banned, what the latest hacks are, where they're finding them. So we have a team of guys whose job it is to help find those things and root them out, for WoW specifically, and they'll be helping us out with ours as well. But I know our engineers have some plans for the more common hacks like map hack and stuff like this, but I don't know exactly what the plans are. I think you can rest assured and know full well that the community will find ways to cheat.
Yes.
Right? that we do not have the guns to keep these guys at bay, right? Like, they will find ways. And so the best that we can do is be aware of it and be as committed as we can to banning accounts and to keeping the service as fair and as clean as possible. So we have some thoughts, but they're going to find a way, and we're going to keep fighting them, and that's what we'll do.
And if you guys could actually maybe at one point just really focus the question on StarCraft 2, just over the old ban. I think what Dustin said already is not really totally couldn't share all the information that we have at present. So
actually, it's not accurate.
On the single campaign, do you plan to add subtitles on the video?
Yeah, you can watch them with subtitles.
Subtitles?
Yeah.
People will have problem to hear?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Sorry, another kind of Battle.net-ish question anyway.
I can always say no. It's their interview, it's not you guys want to do.
So, do you have any idea what type of friends listy stuff? Would it be like the Warcraft 3 ones or better, or I mean, you have plans as well?
There will be one. Exactly what form it takes, I don't know for sure.
More than 99 people in a clan?
I don't know about clans. Yeah, that's a whole other issue, right? So clans didn't make, Warcraft launch. When we do clans for StarCraft launch, I don't know one way or the other at this point. So we'll see what happens with clans and how we want to organize them. We've been talking about other ways to organize players as well for competitive play. So at the same time, having come from World of Warcraft, we've seen a lot of players, like guilds are competitive organizations sometimes.
Yeah.
Right? And sometimes they're social organizations. So we're going to be looking at different ways to organize players so they can get what they actually want. We don't want people not to be able to be in a clan because it's a competitive organization. At the same time, we want people to make competitive organizations. So we may have some different groups. We don't know what's going to happen with it all yet.
Have you been looking, like, on World of Warcraft, that you mentioned a bit, on, for instance, like chat logs and stuff, you can click a name or stuff like that, because obviously there is a bit of lacking on the Battle.net at the moment.
Sure. Yeah, we're looking at obviously everything that's out there that we can find. We've been looking at social networking sites. We've been looking at other games that we think have good sort of social organization for players, and we're definitely putting a lot of effort into it.
Are you involved in the Battle.net work?
Some, yeah. I go to the meetings. Rob Pardo is probably the biggest driver of it, and of course the Battle.net has its own set of designers as well. So I go there primarily to make sure, hey, you know what, like, that's not going to work for us because you know how competitive our game is. Do you know how competitive? And I'll explain some of how StarCraft, the original StarCraft is played, how Warcraft is played. And then I'll have some thoughts on it, but there's really just a team of guys who's working as hard as they can to get that to a good place where we can talk to you guys about it.
Cool.
Okay, there's an adage from gamers. They say statistic means nothing, but also this could be true. Many people like statistic. What do you plan to implement in player profile statistic and clan statistic? Maybe the whole losses and whole wins in our
Sure,
total. And
sure. Yeah. So I don't know what the exact list will take, but I'm a big fan of statistics. Up to a certain point, like I definitely don't want you to come to your profile page and you just see like a wall. Like, what is all this? I have no idea, right? But I want you to be able to find it. So I imagine, again, I don't know for sure, but I imagine that our profile page will take shape in the sense that there'll be some statistics and there'll be ways to get deeper into the page and find more and more statistics. For me as a player, like I've been a big fan of improving our score screen from day one. What we saw up there today is about an eighth of what I'd like to do with that score screen, right? And it's probably already too scary for the casual players, but I want to see, what I've been good at, what have I succeeded at, what I've failed at as a player, and maybe even more importantly, have some idea of what I've succeeded and failed at in the past, so that I can start looking at my score screen and go, okay, I lost that game, but you know what? I resourced this dessert better than I've ever resourced before. And it's sort of like somebody trying to lose weight, right? Like, if I'm 300 pounds and I do it at 295 pounds, I'm still a fat ass, but I've lost 5 pounds, right? So I'm a terrible StarCraft player, but I see that my resourcing, over time is just improved by 30%. Hey, that's something to feel good about, right? Yes, I lost, but I feel good about that. And that's what we want to get players into the mode of thinking of, is focusing on self-improvement and less on did I win or lose. When you play a sporting event, you frequently focus on self-improvement because you're on a team, and you're thinking to yourself, well, we lost today and that kind of sucks. I wish we hadn't lost. But hey, you know what? I did score a couple of goals. Right? Or I didn't miss any free throws. I usually miss 2, but I missed none today, right? And so you start playing against yourself, which is just much more of a positive place to be in. So we definitely want to sort of encourage players and find ways for players to have the tools so they can compare against what they've done in the past, as opposed to just saying, I won, yay, yes. I lost, boo. Because if our matchmaking is good, and we hope that it is, you will win 50% of your games, which means you will lose every other game. Right? Now, not every player wants that. Most players are like, could you just make it so I win 70%? Right? That would feel really good. Yeah, it would feel really good, but it would suck for the guy who's losing 70%. Yes. So the basic math of the universe demands that it's 50-50 at best. Right? Which means that you're gonna struggle, right? And it's gonna be hard for you, and you're gonna have to, and you never know who's gonna win. That's what StarCraft is most fun too. Like when you don't know what's gonna happen. If I sit down and I play somebody who's much better than me, pretty much sucks. If I play somebody who's much worse than me, I gotta tell you, that gets really old really quick. Like it's fun for, if you're kind of a pull the wings off the butterfly kind of guy, like it's fun for like one game. And then it's just like, yes, I'm gonna beat him. Yes, it's easy, I get it, this is boring.